full hour chat today just because of the fact that I'm at the Atlff Film Festival. I'm getting ready for a drive-in screening of a movie called Landlocked, and it's one that caught my eye when I was looking at the schedule, and I'm really looking forward to it. My review should be sometime later, either later tonight or tomorrow morning. It's been a bit of a stressful couple of days. I actually got into a car accident on the way to the festival screenings last night, but I was still able to watch the two movies that I intended to watch yesterday in Clean Slate, which is a wonderful movie on the virtual catalog, as well as The Sleeping Negro, which I had some really interesting thoughts on, and it's a challenging movie, and it's well worth checking out. That one is not available on the virtual catalog, I believe, but Clean Slate is, and it's well worth checking out if you are so inclined. Tonight there's another movie playing in Limbo, which is playing at the Plaza. And I actually screened that movie because it's coming out on Friday, and I screened that movie partially because it was playing at the Atlanta Film Festival, partially because of the fact that it's opening next week. My review was posted on this morning, and you can check that out on sonic-cinema.com. I posted about the opening weekend of the Atlanta Film Festival, the films that I saw, the films that connected to me, and just the experience in general. And it was a really lovely experience, except for the accident I got into yesterday. But there are some excellent films that I've seen at the festival, and some really interesting interviews that I've been able to have, and conversations with filmmakers. And you can hear some of those at the Sonic Cinema podcast on YouTube, as well as the podcast channel on wherever you listen to podcasts, in terms of Apple, Google, or Spotify. And I've got one from Beau McGuire, who was the director of the film Socks on Fire, which was the opening night marquee presentation, and that was a wonderful experience in general. And it's part of a road show that he's doing. He deliberately waited until in-person screenings were a thing again before he brought out, and it was well worth the wait. You can see my review on Sonic Cinema, and you can see some of what the experience was in my opening weekend discussion on the Atlanta Film Festival. This week, Monday through Thursday, is basically going to be all drive-through screenings for me, and tonight, if you came in late, is for the film Landlocked, and tomorrow night is for a movie called Holler. And then the third one is, and then on Wednesday is actually a movie called Profile, which is from the director of Wanted and Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. And I'm curious to see that one, because it looks like it's a project that was completely done over Zoom, and that's going to be an interesting one to see how he's able to bring a voice to that type of film, considering his typical directorial style. And then I'm trying to remember what my Thursday screening is, but I'll have to look at that later. That is it is mentioned on my schedule of what I want to see, what to see, and how to see it. So that's kind of my summary of the Atlanta Film Festival right now. Earlier today, my wife and I watched the film Stowaway, which just came out on Netflix, and it stars Anna Kendrick, Toni Collette, and Daniel Dune Kim as astronauts going on an expedition to Mars, and they have a stowaway who was caught in one of the who was caught in the capsule that they're in, and that presents obviously dilemma because they only have enough resources for 3 of them and really 2 of them. So something is going to have to be done. And so that sets up the moral dilemma. It's a slow-moving movie in the same vein of like Ad Astra and Interstellar, in these moral dilemma movies set in space. It's funny that we're sort of past the point of really having like alien-type movies where it's like it's something trying to get you in space, and now it's basically, survival in space with man. You look at films like Interstellar, obviously, Gravity, Ad Astra is another one, The Martian, and now Stowaway. It's a good movie. It's a decent thriller. It's an entertaining movie. The performances are fine. It does kind of get cliched near the end of the movie, and it sort of ends the way you kind of expect it to, but overall I thought it was alright. It's definitely one of my least favorite movies from that ilk of science fiction movie, and it is interesting that we've gone towards that era of science fiction. And science fiction is actually my favorite genre to watch. And it really doesn't have as much to do with movies like Star Wars or Star Trek, but movies like 2001 and AI and Tarkovsky's Stalker and even Solaris, even though I'm not quite as big a fan of Solaris as a lot of other Tarkovsky fans are. That type of intellectual science fiction is what interests me more. And so, it's Stowaway is not really in that vein. A lot of those movies aren't really in that vein. They kind of devolve into sort of cliches of man against nature, and it's interesting. The actors do what they can. I mean, they're really kind of the main reason you stick with the movie. It is kind of slow to watch, but collectively speaking, it's not necessarily one of my favorite movies of that type of era of science fiction that we're in. And it's interesting to see a movie like that come out and then go to something like the Atlanta Film Festival, which deals a lot in genres and films and stories that don't feel... Sometimes they feel kind of contrived, but often they feel a little bit more authentic. And one of the movies that I saw over the weekend, Aquila's Escape, is actually a really good example of that. It's obstinately a thriller in terms of genre, but it's more of a character study about Aquila, who's the main character and is played in the modern day by Saul Williams, who is fantastic in the movie. And hoping to be able to interview him sometime in the next week or two about the movie, because that movie really connected with me in the way it studies Aquila, his character, his arc, and it's not just Saul Williams' performance, but it's also the performance of the teenager who plays him as a teenager. And I really did get engaged with the movie on that level. I mean, the thriller aspects are pretty perfunctory, but just the character aspects of Aquila was so interesting. And the music, actually, by Saul Williams and 3D from Massive Attack is excellent, and it really captured my attention. I love that type of score. And that's one of the things that I kind of hope to talk to Saul Williams about as well, if I get a chance to talk to him sometime in the next week or two. The other movie that one of the other movies that I really loved was Clean Slate, which is a documentary. It's fundamentally about the making of a short film, but it's also about it's also about the struggle that the filmmakers who are in a substance abuse program are going through in trying to stay sober and trying not to relapse. And they kind of see the process of making a film as an attempt to try to fill that void that they would otherwise have filled with narcotics and drugs of various kinds. It's a really powerful movie, and it's really one of the more anxiety-inducing documentaries about the making of a film that I've ever seen. Like I said earlier, it's available on the virtual catalog at the Atlanta Film Festival. It's well worth checking out if you get a chance to watch it. I'm currently waiting for my drive-in screening of a movie called Landlocked tonight, and I'm looking forward to that, and I'll have that review either tonight or tomorrow. And that's it for this brief episode of the Sonic Cinema Movie Chat.
Can you turn the lights off?
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait a minute. That's not it.
Perfect, thank you.
Alright. Okay.